All right, hey all, happy soon to be full moon in Leo at 24 degrees. Today we have Mercury squaring Uranus, and we had this yesterday as well. So I wasn't surprised that, the halftime show was so symbolic, and also there was like kind of a ruffling of feathers. Mercury square Uranus is kind of like pushing people to ponder, to think differently, right? So I actually have Mercury square Uranus in my natal chart, and I am like that. I love to provoke people. I love to debate. I love to I think I kind of like to piss people off sometimes. And I even remember when I was in what was it, like elementary school, I got suspended. I got suspended a lot because I was always in trouble, but I got suspended because I refused to go on the field trip to the zoo. As a Mercury and Pisces person, I'm very sensitive, and seeing animals in captivity is something very disturbing to me, and I wouldn't go, and so they suspended me. So that's very much like Mercury square Uranus energy, and that's the energy that we have right now. I do think that as we get closer to this full moon, and again, remember, full moons are a plus or minus 7-day window, we are going to have a lot of stuff that's been hidden from us come to light. And if we think about Mr. T, it's going to be in his first house of self. And if we think about JDV, it's also his first house. If we think about Elania, it's going to be his second house. So of earned income. So they're all kind of feeling this tension of this full moon. And then not to mention Mars will be going direct on the 22nd of February. I feel like there's going to be a lot of shocking information that comes out. I feel like we are on the verge of such intensity with Mars moving direct, and then this full moon, and then Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde. Like, there's going to just be so much. And this full moon is also going to be squared by Uranus, again, the planet of shocks and surprises and even reversals. So having this Uranus energy with this full moon energy in dramatic Leo fashion, it's going to come in with a bang. Like, this is definitely not a docile full moon. I mean, all full moons are climax periods, but some definitely pack more punch. And I feel like this one is going to definitely be an intense one. Not to mention, we have Saturn and Neptune conjunct the North Node, which is now in Pisces. So there's a lot of breakthrough energy that I feel like is helping people compassionately. I feel like there's going to be major events, especially in the US, that really bring us all to a position of where we really have to see things from other people's perspective, because it's always someone different, right, till it happens to you. And I think that this is getting more and more louder and profound for everyone, and it's impacting everyone on a global scale. So be prepared. There are going to be revelations that happen, I'd say, in the next few weeks that are going to shake all of us to the core if it hasn't already. And this is just going to intensify as we get closer and closer to March. I've had a lot of clients ask me if they should travel, and I really don't think so. I wouldn't personally. I just think the energy is so unpredictable right now, and there's a lot of, again, smoke and mirrors. We're not seeing things clearly. We're not being told the truth fully. The moment that I'm going to get really nervous is when they start arresting people like me, astrologers and journalists. That's when I'm going to be like, okay, this is really bad. So I'm already extremely nervous because I do like history, and watching all of the events unfold is wild. And the fact that it's aligning so precisely with this Pluto and Aquarius astrology, and then Uranus ingressing into a new sign, and Neptune and Saturn moving into Aries, which is a very WAR energy. And then the fact that Kendrick Lamar even said last night that the revolution is going to be televised. I can't even think of a phrase that's more profound than that, especially for Pluto and Aquarius, because Aquarius is about social media. And also, too, with Neptune moving into Aries, that just makes me feel like violent events being filmed on camera, because Neptune rules film, it rules cameras, it rules pictures, photograph, videography, all of that. And Aries is violent, and so it's a very violent energy, and that's coming from someone who has 3 planets in Aries. Like, I'm a very peaceful person, but I know how to turn up real quick, and so it's not an easy energy to be dealing with. And so what you need to do for your own sake is to look to where Aries is in your chart, like be prepared for where Neptune and Saturn and Uranus are moving into this year. They're all going to ingress into new signs, and these are longer transits, right? Because these planets are further away, so they take more time to finish up their transits, years, right? So go slow right now. This is not the time for action. This is a time for Crystallis, like metamorphosis, behind the scenes work. And in May, once Mercury and Venus are direct, after we learn these revisions and lessons that are coming forward in for whatever house Pisces and Aries are for you, these are really going to be the lessons that we take with us and move forward over the next months. I wish that I could say that I think things are going to be better by May, but I think that we are going to enter a new way of life for many of us. So it's best to prepare now. I mean, I think it's always good to be prepared rather than be underprepared and like have bad things happen, right? So prepare yourself. You know what I mean? Like, do what you can. Make sure you have a passport. Make sure you have shelf-stable food and water, like things that we take for granted every day that we don't always think about, right? I mean, growing up in California, we always had like emergency packs just because that's what you did. So it's not to scare you, but definitely prepare yourself, like there's going to be food shortages. There's going to be illnesses from food. That's what Pluto and Aquarius is prompting all of us to do, is like grow our own food, help each other out as a community, connect as a community, like realize that nobody is any better than another person. Like there needs to be this connection of the masses, and I believe that's what we're seeing. So I would lay low and kind of see what happens over this full moon, and be aware of the 22nd, especially, or the days around February 22nd. I feel there might be an ATTACK. I hate to put that out there, but I don't feel that we are safe right now. I feel like there is a lot of dangers lurking. So you need to be, if you are going to be out in public, you need to be aware of your surroundings. Make sure that you wear shoes that you can run in. I can't even believe I'm telling you this, but you have to be prepared. Okay. And, I do think things get worse before they get better, which sucks, because I feel like, especially as Americans, we've already like been so sufficiently traumatized. But then I think about people in Sudan or Gaza, and like, well, even to comprehend what they've gone through is like on another level. So, I think that we have to try to embrace what these lessons are that are trying to teach us through these intense transits, but they are not easy. Personally, I don't believe people that do bad things get ahead. I feel like karma always has a way of catching up with everyone. Like none of us can escape our karma. And so I do believe that this works out in the end, because Pluto is the great destroyer and Aquarius is about like they're about justice. They're about like humanitarian equality. I feel like out of all the signs, like even though Aquariuses have very high standards and they can be kind of, I would say pretentious in some situations where they're not gonna open themselves up easily. They are also very, very humanitarian oriented, and they do believe in equality and fairness. You may not meet their standards, but they still feel like you deserve a fair shot energetically. And I love that about Aquarian placements. So I don't know, this full moon, it's in Leo, it's in Mr. T's first house, his rising sign. Then we have Mars retrograde going direct in his 12th house, and it's going to move past his first house again. And it's going to be squaring Uranus, which is in his 10th house of fame and honors, and like his like reputation. I feel like there's going to be some revelations in the next, I would say 2 weeks to a month, that are really going to be shocking, but not really. You know what I mean? It's going to be like everyone was already preparing for this because we already knew. So it's It's gonna be a wild ride, you guys. I would keep a diary right now, or maybe like write a book about this experience, because it will go down in history. We've never had these transits in our lifetimes, and it's really going to be the continuation of a revolution and redefining what equality is for people, redefining what is, our purpose here. And so I know it can be kind of scary, but just protect yourself and just be aware, like if you are in a clear state of mind and you keep yourself in a safe situations and you don't hang around people that are going to drag you into dangerous situations, and you make sure you're prepared, you're going to be all right, and I do think survival is attitude. So stay alert and speak up for what's right, and do what you got to do to keep your mental health in check, whether that's, going MIA, or it's just really focusing on mental health or getting extra sleep. Do what you have to do to just take care of you right now. That's the most important thing. Take care, guys.